Welcome to the SDRC SIR Vendor Training. We are happy to have you with us. If you have any additional questions based on this training, please feel free to email us at sirs@sdrc.org. sirs@sdrc.org. Our presentation will go as follows. We will begin with SIR team introduction, which is just a little bit of background on us, an introduction to SIRs, mandated reporters, incident types, the relationships between SDRC, DDS, and OIG, information on our online vendor portal, and then our closing. So who is the SIR team? Andy Hogan is our program manager for federal programs. Prior to SDRC, Andy worked as a QIDP and a home-based service facilitator at Search Inc. in Chicago, Illinois. While at SDRC, Andy has worked with our adult population as well as a client benefit specialist. Juan Gonzalez is one of our SIR coordinators. He focuses primarily on OIG and DDS follow-ups. Before coming to SDRC, he operated as a quality assurance specialist at Child Development Associates. While at SDRC, Juan has worked with adults, children, and placement units. My name is Yesenia Grajeda Yepes, and I focus primarily on training and risk management in our SIR department. While at SDRC, I operated as an IT training specialist. Prior to SDRC, I assisted Casalitas with Southern Arizona Immigrant Emergency Shelters. Before that, I assisted with DACA and DAPA directives and consulate affairs at the Mexican Embassy in Washington, D.C. Marina Duran is our newest SIR coordinator. She focused on DDS follow-ups and the SIR inbox. Prior to SDRC, she worked on intake at First 5 San Diego, and while at SDRC, she has assisted our adults, adolescents, and placement units. Why are special incident reports so important? Why are we holding this training? Special incident reports, or SIRs, help us identify trends and develop strategies to prevent and mitigate risks. Special incident reports were created per Title 17, Section 54327 of the California Code of Regulations. It reads that vendors and long-term healthcare facilities are required to report occurrences of suspected abuse and neglect, injury requiring medical attention, unplanned or psych hospitalizations, and missing persons if they occur when an individual is receiving services funded by a vendor. In addition, any occurrence of an individual's mortality or an individual being a victim of a crime must be reported, whether or not it occurred while they were under vendor care. We are encouraging all vendors to submit a SIR via the SANDIS portal to ensure that incidences are reported accurately and in a timely manner.
So here we have our reporting agencies, starting off with DDS, who does authorize our services under the Landerman Act and who also puts in place the rules and regulations for our reporting under Title 17. Then we have the Long-Term Care Ombudsman. This is basically the advocate agency or the reporting agency for abuse, neglect for individuals that are in community care facilities, long-term care facilities, ICFs, day programs. And you could do Long-Term Care Ombudsman and APS or either or depending on the incident type, but those would be the primary advocacy agency. Community care licensing / healthcare licensing. CCL oversees basically our adult residential facilities, children's residential facilities, and so on. Healthcare licensing oversees our ICFs, our residential facilities with, say, nursing level care. Here we're covering OIG claims. This came out of an audit that was done by the Office of Inspector General of the Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS system, in January of 2020. Out of that audit, they basically wanted to have DDS check if there was proper reporting of all these Medi-Cal claims. If one of our clients ever accessed any medical service, ER visit, outpatient, X-ray, planned hospitalization, I've seen all those. So if they ever accessed any type of medical service and a Medi-Cal claim was produced, they basically want to know if there was a SIR attached to that. DDS only sees reportable SIRs, of course. So if they don't see a reportable SIR attached to whatever Medi-Cal claim that they have, then they'll come back to us and ask us why there wasn't a SIR attached. what we do on our part, or my part basically, is review these claims, check for SIRS. If it was a non-reportable SIR, I'll check for T19s as well. Gather that information and then transmit to DDS via the Caspio system. This is another safety net for us. We don't want to be on this list because these are basically incidents that fell through the cracks, were not captured through the SIR process, or maybe it was a non-reportable SIR, but we don't want to be catching these claims on the back end. We want to capture this information up front. The most important thing is to try to gather as much information as you can initially from the client, especially for those clients that are in level 2 homes who may access ERs on their own, or level 3 homes.
Who are mandated reporters? Who qualifies, and how is a report made? Well, a mandated reporter is any persons required by law in California to report known or suspected cases of child, adult, or elder abuse, including suspected neglect, to the appropriate law enforcement or social service agency. The people that qualify as a mandated reporter are RC staff, vendor staff, direct service workers, including in-home supportive service workers, and long-term healthcare providers. A report is made verbally and in a written report. Suspected abuse or neglect should be called and submitted in a written report to the appropriate child or adult abuse department or to a local law enforcement agency. Per the California Code of Regulations, long-term care facilities include adult day healthcare programs, congregate living healthcare facilities, skilled nursing facilities or SNFs, intermediate care facilities ICFs, intermediate care facilities / developmentally disabled habilitative ICF/DD-H, or an immediate care facility / developmentally disabled nursing ICF/DD-N. DDS and SDRC do not want these timely reporting protocols to be seen as something punitive. In fact, we believe that timely reporting matters because it ensures that care and other resources are provided to our client. If SIRs are late, whether by an SC, RC, or vendor, clients can be exposed to harm and traumatic events. Safety status can change unexpectedly and to varying degree of harm. Unfortunately, this has meant that sometimes clients can pass away before follow-up is completed due to risk not being mitigated in time. When we report on time, clients can be connected to resources faster, investigations by appropriate agencies can begin sooner, and we can remove perpetrators from harming other clients, thus preventing future SIRs.
So here we have reportable incident types. As a reminder, all unusual incidents need to be reported to SDRC. We, as the SDRC SIR team, will determine if the incident needs to be reported to DDS or not. No matter if it's fax SIR, email SIR, portal, submitting an online SIR, every single incident type. So you don't have to be perfect. Apply the incident that you think best describes what occurred, but just know that we review everything that comes in and we'll double check that. And if we need to change it, we'll make the change. We also check to see if it falls under vendor care. So every incident type here, the difference is these incidents occurred while receiving vendor service. And that's what that VND care means. So for example, client at a day program has a fall, fractures his finger during an outing. That client was receiving a vendor service during the time, so that would be reportable to DDS under fracture/vendor care. And just a note, a reminder that SDRC is now recording all emergency room visits. So please, if your clients do access medical care via ERs or any hospitalizations, please complete a SIR and submit to SDRC. Unreportable SIRs. So if we're looking at the health side, some of these can change and become reportable to DDS if the incident occurs while receiving vendor services. Client has a slip and fall while with his ILS provider and fractures his finger. That would be considered fracture under vendor care and reportable to DDS. Through the different incident types, you don't have to be perfect in terms of identifying the incident, as long as you state what you think it falls under. We look at every single cert coming in so we can check and see and make the changes if needed. We have the law side. Some of these can become reportable, like the missing person. The majority of these are still non-reportable. And in the care side, the fail to assist, those can become reportable because that could be a form of abuse if under vendor care. Other could cover a lot of things that may not apply to a specific incident. If you're unsure, you can use the other to select an incident type. And just a reminder, although not reportable to DDS, vendors should still submit a SANDIS cert to ensure clients' medical/behavioral history is recorded. So it makes it easier for us because we do track trends and see all the types of CERs or progression of a certain trend. We can look at the CER history, add additional services and supports to ensure the health and safety of our clients. So here we have reporting guidelines, and this is what we use on a day-to-day basis. Flowchart on suspected abuse or neglect of an elder or dependent, and it just breaks it down based on where the client is or may be and who to report to within the certain time frame, the reporting agency, and so on. Where the individuals in the community, where the individuals in a residential care facility, in a state developmental center or state mental health hospital, or a long-term care facility. And I believe the state developmental center or the state mental health hospital would be the places like Bayview, Paradise Valley, any place that does the psychiatric assessments for 5150s and things of that nature. The only thing that doesn't change is reporting. Everything is reported within 24 hours. The thing that changes is the certain agencies. So whenever a CER comes in for suspected abuse or neglect of a child, in terms of the last part on immediately within 24 hours, make a telephone report to CPS and/or law enforcement. So we're asking if it's a serious incident that both be completed. So notify CPS and law enforcement. We were trying to find a clear definition on that, but for STRC's internal purposes, we ask that if it's a very serious suspected abuse or neglect incident that occurs in either of the formats indicated here, either the family home, residential care facility, school, or community setting, that you please notify both CPS and a phone call to law enforcement. Usually CPS does cross-report to law enforcement, but not all the time. So we just want to cover all our bases because at the end of the day, we just want to ensure the health and safety of our clients. Serious injury/accident. We're seeing a huge trend in falls, which could result in injuries. So we're asking all vendors to please submit a CER if there's a fall, even if it doesn't result in injury. We do want to document this information because we are seeing trends where a client who does have an issue with falls from maybe seizures or unsteady gaits, this can lead to serious injury in the future. So we're trying to capture that information before it leads to that point. Maybe provide supports that are needed, maybe make recommendations on different mobility equipment that might be required. We're even asking if this client does have a history of falling, what type of mobility equipment is already in place. We're adding that to the follow-up questions, but just be aware. And we are asking that even if you don't think it's reportable, maybe you think it's an isolated fall, please submit a CER so we can capture that information and be ahead of the game. At the end of the day, we do want to ensure the safety, health and safety of our clients. And here's just basically some of the follow-up questions that we're asking for fractures and dislocation. Same thing for lacerations, puncture wounds, bites that break the skin, and internal bleeding. We do look at every CER that comes in. If any of these types of incidents occur while receiving services, there is a possibility that this could be reportable to DDS because that would fall under vendor care. And Regional Center does count surgical glue, Dermabond, as reportable to us. Not reportable to DDS, but reportable to us. So we do want to capture that as well.
In the past, STRC has asked providers to submit their CERs via fax to STRC. We are highly encouraging that our vendors sign up to use our online vendor portal, as it allows you to submit a CER right away via the comfort of your facility. To begin the online CER program, you have to download the SPP agreement form found on our website under the Providers tab and the Special Incident Reporting section. Once you complete this form, you will email it to ebilling@sdrc.org. If you encounter any problems where you are not being set up on time or need additional assistance with the portal, please feel free to email us at sirs@sdrc.org. On this section of the website where you will find the online portal registration, you can also find online vendor cert tutorials, as well as other frequently asked questions regarding CIRS and client services. This is the section of the presentation where we typically ask if there are any questions. If there are any questions you have, feel free to reach out to your service coordinator or to us at sirs@sdrc.org. In this next slide, you will see different questions that vendors have posed to us during in-person CIRS training. Please feel free to pause this part of the video in case there are any questions that might be relevant to you. Here we are including prevention tips and treatment of common medical problems for our patients with DD, as well as common unrecognized or untreated medical problems. These come from an article written by Clarissa Kripke from the University of California in her article titled Adults with Developmental Disabilities: A Comprehensive Approach to Medical Care. I highly encourage our vendors to read this article or to pause this section so they can use it as their own personal reference. Our most recent Zoom training was held on 6/8/2023. It was a great joy to have all of you guys there if you attended. We have a recording of that Zoom call available on YouTube. Please feel free to ask us for that link. And we hope that you enjoy this presentation. Thank you again for everything that you do. And please let us know anytime if there's anything that you need assistance with. We are happy to get to learn and grow alongside our vendors as we try to improve the care that our clients receive and to prevent future risk to our clients. Thank you and have a great day.